So why doesn't The Weeknd like doing any interviews? Now, The Weeknd is one of the biggest singers in the mainstream world, and although he's known by a lot of people, at the same time we don't kind of know him just because he rarely does any interviews. Matter of fact, his first interview ever was in 2013, 2 years after dropping some really game-changing mixtapes and 2 years after being featured on Drake's Take Care. And there's only a handful of video interviews of The Weeknd on the whole internet, and most of them don't even exceed 5 minutes. And that makes you wonder, why doesn't The Weeknd do any interviews? So I did some research and I found out the truth on why The Weeknd doesn't really like doing interviews, and here's why. Reason number 1. The Weeknd doesn't want to give away too much of himself. Now, the whole mystery of The Weeknd is what made him so intriguing to a lot of people. From being featured on Drake's Take Care to dropping one of the most successful albums of 2015 and being this mainstream pop icon that a lot of people know about but still don't really know. But in an interview with Rolling Stone from 2015, just a couple weeks after his album dropped, The Weeknd said the following: "We live in an era where everything is so excessive. I think it's refreshing for everybody to be like, who the fuck is this guy? I think that's why my career is going to be so long, because I haven't given people everything." Basically, he wants to keep his mystery, and that way people will never get enough of The Weeknd. And if you think about it, it kinda makes sense. I mean, the mystique behind The Weeknd is what made him so successful in the beginning. Because one thing that he said in the past is that a lot of people didn't know if The Weeknd was a solo artist or a group. And I was actually one of those people, unfortunately enough. But then he saw the opportunity of using the whole mystery image to his advantage, and of course, he ran with it. Now, let's move on to reason number 2 why The Weeknd doesn't do interviews, and that is because he is insecure about his speaking abilities. Now, if you know anything about The Weeknd's story, then you know that he never graduated high school, and ever since then, The Weeknd has always been insecure about that he isn't well spoken enough. The Weeknd has said that he's always felt like he isn't articulate enough, and he even once said that he used to do crossword puzzles to improve his vocabulary, which just goes to show that the insecurity is much deeper than just being camera shy. Now, of course, him being camera shy is something that he's talked about before, and in the early stages of his career, he didn't like being photographed at all. But of course, that's just the surface of the real answer to why The Weeknd doesn't like doing interviews. So now we know that the reason as to why The Weeknd doesn't like doing interviews is that he doesn't want to give away too much of himself, and in a sense, he wants to give away as much as he himself feels like is enough, so we never get tired of him. And the second reason was that he's always been self-conscious about his intelligence when it comes to how he speaks and his vocabulary. And that is the two main reasons as to why The Weeknd doesn't do interviews, and now you know why. But what do you personally think about The Weeknd not doing any interviews? Does the fact that you don't know that much about him personally help you enjoy his music more? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, follow me on Twitter at BlackySpeakz, and I'm out.